Hey, how we doing today, guys? This is Mike D here, interviewing Ciara and Sharde. How are we doing today, ladies?
Doing well,
We're,
thanks. Thanks for having
yeah, we're
us.
doing great. Yeah, we're
Great,
excited to be
great.
here.
Well, Ciara and Sharde are starting their own firm. You guys are extremely experienced in the music industry. Can you kind of tell the people how this partnership came together?
For sure. Ciara, do you want me to start?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it was honestly it was super organic.
Yeah.
So, Sharda, you give them the background.
So, Ciara and I had essentially started out as associates at a law firm, and we were working together and became friends. And then I ended up parting ways a few years after being at the law firm. And then I started getting a ton of referrals for clients, and then she was doing the same. And so we decided that we'd partner and make it official.
Nice, nice. And so, I guess what got you guys into, the music industry and that side of law? I mean, I could start with you, Sierra, if you like.
Well,
Ciara.
I mean, yeah. I mean, honestly, it's just I think for me, how like why or how I got my start, like I really believe that once and the entertainment space is in your blood, like it stays there. I did acting as a kid,
Mm,
and I kind of got out of it, but then started doing it, going through college just to kind of pay some bills, but when I went to law school, I was just like, you know what, I realized I didn't want to be on the actor side, but I wanted to help people in this space. And
mhm.
so that's when I knew I was like, you know what, I want to be a lawyer, and I want to help like where people are taken advantage of, which happens a lot in this industry, unfortunately.
Mm. Same question for you, Sharde.
So I got my start at Island Def Jam Music Group in New York. So I was an intern first and interned in the strategic marketing department. And then while I was there, I would just go to all of the departments and ask them if they needed help with different things. And while I was there, Jay-Z was actually running the label, I believe the A&R side of things. And I became close with Tyron Smith, or most people know him as Tata.
Mm.
So I ended up graduating from college a year early and asked if they needed help. And I sat with the guys, and they basically took me on as an assistant. So my first job in the music industry was as an executive assistant for Rock Nation. And
Oh, that's
so
cool. That's
that's,
cool. Where did you go to school at? Just for the people out there that want to
yeah.
follow your
So
path.
I went to Columbia University for undergrad, and then I went to Fordham for law school. So I'm a New Yorker through and through. I'm from Brooklyn.
Oh, cool. Oh, yeah, that worked out all together. Working at Rock Nation, being from Brooklyn, going to school in New York. Yeah.
Yes, yes, a New Yorker.
So my
Definitely worked out.
question, yeah, my next question was going to be for both of you as well. When did you fall in love with hip hop since you're in that space?
Um,
you know go Sharday, because I think that we both, it's like starts like as kids, right? So
Right.
yeah, definitely, definitely as kids. I would say for me, it was with my mom. So my mom was a big Jay-Z, Tupac, Biggie fan, and I remember going from, I would drive, we would stay in during the summers sometimes in Atlanta in Stone Mountain, Georgia. And so we would drive from New York City to Atlanta, and when we would drive down there, she would have like her CDs. She had CDs that she would leave in the house that wouldn't couldn't get scratched, and then she'd have a second set for the car. And so I remember her playing Biggie all the time, and definitely Jay all the time. And I mean, I was so young. I was probably like, I don't know, fifth grade, sixth grade maybe.
Mm.
Listening to stuff I probably shouldn't have been listening to.
No,
I
no.
know
What
a
Jay
lot
Z
of people
albums? What Jay Z albums are these you have memories of? I'm pretty sure the Biggie's "Ready to Die" or "Life After Death." Like
Life
they got
After
a big
Death.
catalog.
Yes, yes. Jay, I feel like whatever album 22 Twos was on. Is
Oh,
that
Reasonable Doubt. Yeah.
called out? Yes, yes, yes. So yeah, it goes back a ways. Yeah,
What
yeah.
about you, Ciara?
My mom wanted to kill my brother, but like I grew up in a small town, and we would do like these super early commutes because I lived literally in the sticks, and he would drive us to school. and he would be blasting like Tupac and Biggie. And so I was like, like middle school, I think even like younger than that. And my mom would be like, no, but yeah, exactly. It's as kids, and I was like, this is the jam. I mean, Tupac, he's a poet,
Oh yeah.
like through and through.
I'm just now getting the chance to finish that Dear Mama series. It's on Hulu. Great series.
Oh
Our fans
man,
have been telling us that we need to watch it for a minute, and I'm just now getting around to it. Incredible stuff. I wish I would have seen
oh
some
yeah,
of these interviews, like, when we were growing up, but we didn't.
for
Now, well,
sure.
speaking of that, you guys have been around the music industry, and you're veterans now in that. How have you seen the music industry change, just from a business standpoint? Since you've been involved, like, what's some of the biggest changes you've seen?
I'll go first. I would say in terms of
Yeah.
deal structures, we're finding that a lot of our clients now are more concerned with master ownership, which they weren't, I would say maybe 15 years ago, they weren't as concerned. And so because of that, I think there's now a shift to more distribution deals, and we're seeing a lot of production deals as well. You have people that are business partners that are forming companies, and they're finding talent and signing them to their production deals, and then taking their production deals over to major labels, to have them sign through that. So I'd say that's the biggest shift I've seen, from a business standpoint from clients.
What about you, Ciara?
Yeah. Yeah, I've honestly seen, like, similar to obviously what Sharde is saying, a lot of like independent, like people want to just distribute, or artists want to distribute. They don't necessarily want to sign like with a major label. It's not what they're really looking for. I think it's not always about like the money. Right now we're both seeing a lot of just like, they're like, I just want control over like my brand, I want control over like where my music, like who's hearing it, that sort of thing. So I think kind of like to Sharde's point, master ownership, a lot of the times when you're doing independent releases or just distribution, you still earn your masters. So that's been a big change, and I think we're going to see a lot more of that in the near future.
Well, I mean, I know we hear a lot about that, mostly from the artists being vocal about their masters and their ownerships. Can you maybe explain some, I guess, pros and cons to having your own masters? Because some feel that it is in your possible benefit for there to be some level of ownership with somebody else who's able to sell, your masters to even, films or, television. Is there any validity in that?
Yeah, but at the same time, you can partner with like a company that doesn't take your ownership, or not the ownership of your masters, and still like pitches you for syncs. A
Gotcha.
lot of it, I think, kind of, if you already have like a huge fan base, like, what I mean, I guess a label could help you. I mean, it's again, it's a give and take. A label could help you. They obviously have a lot of connections, but again, if you are like, if there's an artist that's purely like fan driven, maybe that's not, maybe that's not as beneficial.
Yeah, to piggyback off of what Ciara is saying, I think it's artist specific. You have to look
Hmm.
at, with us, when we pick clients, we have some artists that are clients that want to retain their master ownership and some that don't mind. And I think it's also, what you're specifically looking for. Some need the financial backing of a major label, and with the backing of a major label, you're giving away your master ownership, and there's nothing wrong with that either. If you need the funds, or you're not in a position to Ciara's point, where you don't have maybe a massive following, you need the marketing team from a major label to help push you to get to that point. So it's a give and take. It's artist specific.
Is that where
Hmm.
like a 360 comes in as well when it comes to that artist specific and possibly needing that, big budget, if you will, from the
Yes,
label?
Yeah,
oh, sorry.
yeah. Go ahead, Charlie. Yeah.
I'm
No,
sorry. I should direct questions to each. Go ahead. I'm
but
sorry.
we like run like the same, so usually we're thinking the same a lot
Yeah.
of times when we're talking. So
Well,
no
True.
worries. But yeah, I was going to say the 360 stuff does come in to play in that situation, because usually when you sign to a major label, you have a recording deal, and in addition to a recording deal, you have what they call an entertainment rights deal, which is basically the ancillaries and what you're thinking of as 360. So rights to your merch, rights to touring, and sometimes publishing. Endorsement deals and things of that nature. So yes, that's where it comes in. But again, if you're signing to a major, oftentimes clients that sign to majors, it's because they need the financial backing, and they also usually need the machine, which is the label behind them, to help to promote them or push them to like further in their career, like with their marketing teams and their radio teams, and they have a machine.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was going to ask to kind of piggyback on that. I mean, since we're talking about artists and, it depends on where they're at in their career. Say someone's at the ground level, what would you recommend the artist be looking for in an entertainment attorney?
I'll take this one, Sharde,
Okay.
because we both have had experiences, but somebody that knows what they're doing. And please don't have like your divorce attorney or like your criminal attorney negotiate your music deals. Like you would be surprised how many times we've had to get clients out of deals because they're like, oh, well, like my divorce attorney negotiated this deal. And it's like, listen, I don't pretend to know like divorce law, or like I don't step foot in the courtroom, and I don't pretend to. So just make sure, that the music attorney like knows what they're doing. And a lot of that, can be like word of mouth. Sharde and I, Simpson and Reed, we only take on clients on a referral basis. And so it's like, I think a lot of it is like when you also find them sometimes on social media, that could be also, I don't want to say like definitely go to any entertainment attorney you find on social media, but sometimes like just and honestly, like kind of doing your own research and like learning your business. I mean, if you're in this business, you're in this business. So trying to at least read up on books would be good. Google may or may not have the right answers. Honestly, that can be hit or miss too. Same with ChatGPT. Sometimes there's the right answers, but yeah, I just think that like first and foremost, don't just go to like your family attorney and say, hey, read this contract and tell me what to do. Really try to, and it's a niche market. It's like there's not like a ton of music attorneys, but I think kind of trying to get in where you can and make network. You'll find them there.
It's like a doctor, right? When you have a doctor who
So
specifically focuses on, let's just say the heart, or then you have an eye doctor, and they're all doctors, but they all specialize in different things. And
Exactly.
so entertainment the same way, right?
That's the best
Totally.
analogy I've heard so far, because that's exactly spot on.
Well, thank you. I just came up with that off the top of my head. Well, let's talk about Simpson and Reed, and what your firm is about, the initiatives, and everything that people need to know.
So where do we start? To Ciara's point, it's a referral-based only law firm. We just launched it in January of this year. It's the two of us, so it's female-run. We are trying to sort of change the model and how we interact with our clients, and how entertainment attorneys are traditionally viewed, I guess, in our world. So we're trying to be more responsive. Our clients are able to reach us not just via email. They have become family, so we attend their family functions. They attend ours. They reach us via cell, not just via email, text. It's very family based, and our motto is family and loyalty and trust. And yeah, I don't know if I'm missing.
And I think no, I think you covered it all. And I think also it's like, you run into a lot of the issues, and this goes like, lawyer wide, not just really the music space. It's heavy in the music space, but you don't half the time know who's on your roster as a client. And we're really like, our firm specifically is wanting to change that, because we're very loyal. We take how we are as people and we put that into the firm, which is like, we are very family based. Like family is first always. And we're very passionate about what we do in like all aspects of life. And then also we're very, very loyal, almost to a fault sometimes, but we're very loyal. And I think that, is how we are running our firm. And I think that in itself kind of just, breeds great clients and a network that we love going to work every day. To us, it's not working. We're plotting every day.
Well, that's what it's about. Loving what you do and being able to spread that to others. And I guess that kind of spills into my next question. What I don't want to ask this in a way where it kind of gives away things, but in a blanket situation, where would you say there are ways for artists to monetize in the music industry currently? Because a lot of people feel that with the streaming platforms out there and, disc not selling, albums physically not selling like they used to, there's some people say that there is no money in the industry, and some people say there's more money in the industry than it ever has been.
Yeah. Do you want me to? I honestly think that there's an abundance of money in this world in general, right? And I think especially in the music space, I think tech is really switching things up, and I think it's awesome. Sharde and I both think it's amazing. It makes it tricky, it makes it different, but it doesn't make it bad. And I think it's just trying to figure out different ways of like monetizing on your music. A lot of it is just, it's about creativity. A lot of our artists they're creative. It's not just maybe in the music space, but they're just creative. They've just like are creative geniuses is what literally they are. And so it's like, what do they want to expand into? And we really like to tap into that. It's like, again, like our firm basis is family and connecting, and we love to connect our clients, because we don't want to take on a bajillion clients. We like to take the best out of each kind of category and be like, you guys really like vibe. Like, we're going to make an introduction. You guys can like take it from there, but there's so much to, we have clients that have gone into the wine space, into the cooking space, into the, like all these different types of like, just different products, so it's just your music can, your music can segue you into other opportunities to make you money or to make your generational businesses is what Sharde and I like to call them.
Nice.
Absolutely. And then also to piggyback off of what Ciara is saying too, is I would say that from an entertainment standpoint or the music space, a lot of our clients, and because of the where we are in the world and because of the way the internet is running, a lot of them can operate sort of like mini labels. So we have clients that are, musicians or artists, and now they've dabbled into merch and they've figured out how to partner with distributors without having to necessarily go to a major label to sell merch. Or they have their friend that's a videographer and now they're creating videos and they're charging for treatments. And, some are engineers and they're selling beats. So they're doing like a million different things as well that are, to Ciara's point, tied to music. Most of our clients, when they're creative, they're not just musically like creative in the music space. It runs the gamut. Like, they are just geniuses in everything they do.
Well, with that being said, do you take on just artists, or you just take on creatives altogether? Like, what type of clients are you guys currently taking on?
So it's a boutique entertainment law firm, but we're not just focused on music clients. Our clients run the gamut, to Ciara's point. We have recording artists, we have songwriters, we have producers, but in addition to that, we represent tech companies, we represent film and TV distribution companies. We have record labels most recently that we've taken on.
Influencers.
Influencers, yes.
Merch
Wine
creators,
creators.
creative,
Oh,
It's
nice.
the coolest thing ever. Like, and we love to connect them with each other. So we just keep trying to build this energy amongst each other, amongst the clients. So
I love that because it's an updated model when we are living in an updated world, like it's internet, as you guys have said, it's kind of put a lot of people on a similar playing field. And so, yeah, you're able to represent the gambit. Um, I was asked to ask this. Are there any myths in the music industry that you would like to debunk? Because people have this notion of what the music industry is like from a legality standpoint. Are there some things that you see on the internet that you're like, that is completely wrong?
I'll jump in. I think that a lot of it, you have to take what you read in these articles with a grain of salt,
Yeah.
because it's like telephone. It's like, I mean, there's one artist that's like, I made $4 million off this record deal, and it's like, no, I was actually on the other side of that deal, and I know that that's not what you made, or whatever, what have you. We've heard that before. Trust me, and we're like,
A lot.
that's
Yeah.
actually not true. Yeah. And, but also I think that maybe not in the legal sense, but this is like to all of the people trying to break into the music space or the entertainment space in general, is like what Arnold Schwarzenegger has said is ignore the naysayers. That's exactly what Sharde and I've had to do. It's people will try to keep you down. People will tell you, no, that's so hard. You can't break into the entertainment space. You can't break into the music space. You can't be this. You can't do this. Okay, well, you tell me can't one more time and watch us.
Right.
I think it's it's a tough business. You have to have thick skin, but I also think that there's so much like for people in this space, to that we need. So
yes.
Well,
I would also.
go ahead,
Sorry.
son. No, I
I
was
was
going to
just gonna
ask you
say,
if you had anything.
one more thing I would add to what Ciara is saying is also, I think the biggest thing is people always think that artists quickly make money. Like, I think that it's a long game. When you're becoming a creative in this industry and you're making music, a lot of these artists that you're seeing that are doing really well right now, obviously there are always one-hit wonders and situations like that. But outside of that, the ones that are doing phenomenal, they've been doing this for 10, 20 years since they were kids. And it's taken a long time for them to get where they are. So it's not quick money. So, and it's not quick success either. It takes time. So I would definitely say that. So don't give up on a dream either. If you've been doing it for a while and you're saying, like, I've been knocking on all these doors, I've been going to labels, I can't get a deal, just keep at it, because it's deeper than that, and it's longer than that. Don't always look at the hype or thinking that, social media can definitely be deceiving in that respect, I'd say.
So I grew up in the
totally.
album era, right? And back in the '90s, early 2000s, when artists would get signed, they would get signed to album deals, I would imagine, right? And so I've always wondered, how does the whole mixtape, EP, and album thing now combinate contractually? Because I mean, you see things like with Megan and whatever's going on over there, but do artists still have album deals and they're still able to put out mixtapes and this and that, or do the mixtapes kind of count as albums now as well?
Well, it's
It's all
contract specific.
negotiable.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all
It's all
negotiable.
negotiable.
Yeah, there you can have situations where there's the term of the deal is a certain amount of masters that are delivered, or there are a certain amount of EPs that are delivered, or albums. So yes, to Ciara's point, it's all negotiable. Everything
Or
is
it could be a
negotiable.
deal for literally just like a mixtape. Like it's all negotiable. So it's hard to say. But yes, those do still exist.
Yes,
Yes.
they definitely
Okay.
do.
Because I just saw a post from Block Boy JB today, and he was talking about that he's not able to put out music or something like that. Like, and I guess that's a negotiable situation too, because everybody's stuff is different. But what normally happens when an artist, goes out to social media and says that they're not able to put out music, they have music, and someone's not allowing them to put music out?
Well, I would say nothing
I
happens
get
as
Yeah,
specific. We can't, like,
yeah,
it's all relative. It depends on who, you know, it depends on their contract. There's a lot of factors that go into these things. So it's
right.
That's why I say take everything you read online with a grain of salt, because there's a lot that goes into like a just short blip like that. Like is it a holdback period? Is it literally they're saying no because of the marketing? Is it, I mean, there's a lot of questions around like,
Yeah.
why, you know what I mean? So yeah.
And it's funny,
we
whenever artists have gripes about their labels, the first thing that people say generally is like, well, you should have had an attorney. And I'm sure every artist has to have an attorney representing them when they're signing contracts like that, or is that false?
Well, okay, that's
Mm,
also relative as well,
yeah.
because you're talking about
Yeah.
contracts that might have been signed 10, 15 years ago. And then
Right.
to circle back on Ciara's point originally, did you have your friend read it? That's an attorney, that's a real estate attorney, or your friend read it that is a litigator that's not in the music industry? So yes, everyone in theory should have an attorney to maybe they did have an attorney that was competent and great and they explained it to them and maybe the person didn't understand it. There's so many factors that go into it, or maybe they didn't. It's so many, it could go either way. So I don't think
Or
there's an answer.
also, yeah, and there also could be situations where it's like, like you had no leverage, or you literally had one stream. And so, unfortunately, the deal that was placed in front of you, whether you had a competent attorney, like let's say you did, and they laid out all the terms, and it's like those are the worst terms possible, but you really wanted to take the deal, So it's
You really
so,
need to in advance.
yeah,
That was tough. Yeah,
yeah.
there's
So it's hard to say. I mean, I know that's the lawyer answer of like, it depends, but it really
but it
depends.
really does depend.
No, and I think people can get that from everything that you're saying. It's like you said, you have to take everything that's being said out there with a grain of salt, because the person that signed the contract is the one that is giving this information, and they may not be totally upfront and forthcoming about what really transpired when they signed the contract. I mean, they're even not telling the truth about the numbers some of the time. So
Or maybe they
Well,
really
and
didn't understand.
yeah,
and
That
maybe
could be
that's,
it
I mean,
too.
it could actually be happening, but it's just, and it's a bummer, because it's like, then you run into these situations where it's like the artist isn't happy with the label. And to be fair, I mean, I'd be pissed too if I couldn't put out music and I wanted to, especially with a creative person, they want to put their music out there. So it's, at that point, it has to be like a discussion between the artist or the artist's attorney and the label, saying, hey, listen, like, we need to figure this out. Like, this is,
Right.
you clearly have an unhappy partner. Like, a label is a business partner at the end of the day, right? And you want a happy business partner, like, I want Sharde happy because she's my business partner. Come on. Like, I'm not, and it's the same goes. So I think that's where, at the end of the day, it's all negotiable and trying to figure out, we're all human. We're all trying to, at the end of the day, a contract is just a piece of paper, but what does that mean in real life?
Right.
well, that's where Simpson and Reed comes in, and that whole family-oriented mentality of making sure that the people who are represented are taken care of, and that they do understand what's going on. And yeah, thank y'all so much for explaining some of the things. I know we could have a 3-hour conversation about this, because a lot of these things are extremely complex. But you're right; it's kind of a situation to situation scenario. Is there anything you all would like to leave the people with before we get out of here?
No, you can just find us at simpsonandreed.com or on our Instagram, which is also Simpson and Reed. And most recently, we have some TikToks coming your way, so look out for that as well, which is Simpson and Reed. So
Yeah,
yeah,
we'll give some legal tips in the music space, which hopefully is some help for some artists and creatives out there. So
Oh, that's great. And I guess if someone would like to contact you guys, they're able to do that through your social media platforms. Or
absolutely.
okay, perfect. And again, I appreciate you guys stopping by to kind of give some information that people definitely ask about all the time. And congratulations on the new venture. I know y'all gonna do great things, because y'all are already doing great things.
Well, thank you so much.
thank
We
you.
appreciate
No
having us.
problem. All
Thanks for
right.
having us on.
All right. Signing off.
Take care.